Okay, let's start with something pretty profound. What if your thoughts, right now, could instantly shape your reality? Seriously, what if the entire universe was actively guiding you, like in this very moment, towards, I don't know, an inevitable, beautiful future?
That is a truly profound inquiry, isn't it?
It really is.
And it's precisely the kind of powerful perspective we're diving into today.
Welcome, everyone, to the Deep Dive. Today, we're looking at some really unique sources you brought to us. These are insights described as coming from the Arcturian Council.
That's right, described as a collective of benevolent, higher dimensional beings. The messages come through the SOU LUZ DIVINA YouTube channel.
Okay. And we're going to explore what these messages reveal about the powerful energetic shifts happening right now, specifically focusing on this month, July.
Yeah. Our mission for this deep dive, really, is to unpack this perspective on ascension, both personal and planetary. We want to give you some, hopefully, practical insights into navigating these energies maybe more smoothly and, help you discover that innate power you have to create the reality you actually desire.
Absolutely. We're going to explore how your choices, your thoughts, even your dreams, how they're actively shaping not just your own path, but maybe the collective future of humanity, too.
It's quite a concept.
It is. Okay, so let's unpack this core idea from the Arcturian Council. They describe the energy of July as a really significant period.
Yeah, what's truly fascinating here is their foundational message. They're saying the entire universe, including Earth, isn't just passively evolving, it's actually naturally moving into a higher frequency.
Naturally, so it's not something we have to force.
Exactly. It's part of a grander, unstoppable process, apparently. And they talk about this growing wave of hope and optimism bubbling up in our collective consciousness.
Oh, interesting.
More and more people are recognizing the future isn't fixed. Earth's path, it's incredibly flexible, and it responds directly to your vibrational choices.
Okay, so connecting that to the bigger picture, it implies our ascension isn't just like a possibility, but maybe a cosmic inevitability.
That's what they suggest. Nothing can truly stop it.
Wow.
The only real question, according to these sources, is whether you'll experience this journey, calmly and joyfully, or with more struggle and turbulence.
Right. So how then do these sources suggest our personal energy management directly impacts that, how we experience it?
Well, it's all about alignment. Every time you choose love over fear, maybe, or you trust your inner guidance instead of, say, just absorbing scary predictions from outside, you make your own journey smoother. But conversely, if you get caught up in judgment or despair or narratives of destruction, it's like adding the significant weight to your energetic field.
Okay, like slowing yourself down.
Exactly. Potentially slowing you down.
Yeah.
And this month, July in particular, is presented as a crucial commitment test.
A commitment test?
Yeah, to maintaining that higher vibration.
That's a really interesting way to put it, a commitment test. It's like asking, are you going to buy into those fear-based stories floating around? Or are you going to actively align with that flow of hope and positive potential that, these higher realms are apparently holding for us?
Precisely.
And here's where it gets really remarkable, according to the Arcturian Council. This isn't just some passive universal law.
No.
It's an active, instantaneous feedback loop. The cosmos is actively responding to us.
Right. The moment you align with higher love, the universe responds. It sends newer, purer, stronger waves of light specifically calibrated to your shift.
Wow, calibrated to us.
It's like a real-time cosmic dialogue.
Okay, and this is exactly why the sources say it's more important than ever to slow down.
Yes. And this isn't just a suggestion. They present it as a kind of loving alert.
An alert.
Yeah. If you don't slow down willingly, your higher soul, in its wisdom, might orchestrate events to make you slow down.
Oh, okay. Like how?
Well, you might experience it as profound fatigue, maybe needing forced rest, an unexpected illness, or even a sudden, overwhelming emotional release that just kind of pauses everything.
Right. Hits the brakes.
Yeah, because your energetic fields need time and space to integrate these higher frequencies that are flowing onto Earth.
Okay.
These are seen as preparatory currents for what's described as a main energetic flash.
A main energetic flash.
A pivotal, rapid infusion of light and consciousness that will dramatically accelerate planetary transformation.
That sounds incredibly transformative. So if someone feels resistant or exhausted leading up to this flash, What's the immediate impact? Is it subtle or more disruptive, what these sources suggest?
Well, it seems like it's both subtle and profound. Anything misaligned in your body or your energy field will get intensely highlighted.
Highlighted for what?
For transmutation or clearing. So the gentler you are with yourself beforehand, the easier this realignment becomes.
Okay.
You definitely don't want to meet the intensity of that flash feeling exhausted or, resistant in your cells.
Mm-hmm. Right, because that's when it could feel disruptive.
Exactly. This period, July, is really presented as your preparation phase. It's not just a spiritual upgrade. It's framed as part of a planetary ascension.
The planetary one.
We're invited to really feel the magnitude of it, let go of what we maybe thought reality was, and release those old stories formed through limitation.
Because,
as these sources suggest, everything is going to change, and maybe much of it quite suddenly.
Okay, wow. This brings up a really important question about how we navigate change, especially when it feels sudden, or when we're trying to choose a path.
Yeah.
The sources talk about timelines.
Mm-hmm.
They say they aren't fixed paths laid out before you.
Right. Instead, they're described as possibilities vibrating within your own energetic field.
So, within me.
Yeah. You essentially carry all potential timelines within you. And you shift to a different one every time you alter your frequency.
So you can just change course in an instant.
That's the idea, simply by making a new choice. And your intuition, that's described as the compass guiding you.
Intuition.
Many of us have noticed those, subtle inner nudges or sudden impulses that seem to come from deep within.
Like what kind of things?
It could be anything, really. A thought to contact someone out of the blue, a sudden desire to change your plans for the day, or maybe a strong feeling that you really need to rest instead of pushing yourself.
Okay. And these aren't random.
Not according to these sources. That's a key point.
So not just random thoughts, but actual communication.
Precisely. They're framed as your higher self and your guides kind of whispering directions.
Whispering direction.
To help you align with the highest, most beneficial timeline for you and potentially those around you too.
Right.
The council encourages acting on these intuitive impulses as soon as you feel them.
Immediately.
Yeah. When you have an inspired idea that just feels right, in your heart or your gut, take a small action. Honor it immediately.
Like what kind of small action?
Maybe a quick call or taking a different route home from work or even just pausing for a deep breath right then and there.
I see. So by acting in that moment of inspiration, you kind of lock it in. You consolidate the new energy.
Exactly. You show the universe you're serious about your choice. If you hesitate and doubt, well, the fearful mind can creep in, right?
Yeah, happens all the time.
It can dissuade you, and that opportunity to shift might pass, or at least be delayed.
And even these seemingly minor adjustments can have big effects.
Huge cascading effects, potentially. You might never fully know how deciding to follow a happy impulse now could divert you, and maybe even others, from potential issues down the road. Every time one of you listens to your heart and makes that higher vibrational choice, you help steer the collective towards a kinder, more loving future.
Steer the collective.
And as these energies intensify, manifestation is speeding up.
Right.
So mastering your mind and thoughts becomes increasingly important.
That sounds a lot like moving towards being in a lucid dream, but while you're awake.
That's a great analogy.
Imagine your thoughts and feelings creating your environment almost instantly. That's kind of what we're approaching as we ascend.
That's exactly what these sources suggest we're moving towards, which is why mental discipline and self-awareness are being so heavily emphasized right now.
Okay, because?
Well, a fascinating point here is that an undisciplined mind, when lost in worry or anger or fear, can quickly manifest undesirable experiences in this faster energy.
Oh, right. Creates what you don't want.
Exactly. Conversely, a calm, heart-centered mind, that'll be your greatest ally in creating a beautiful life.
So how do we achieve that?
It's suggested you slow down, be very intentional with your thoughts, your words, even what you consume mentally, like news, social media.
That makes complete sense. So practical steps, maybe taking breaks during the day just to breathe slowly, consciously.
Yes, exactly. If you find yourself mindlessly scrolling through news feeds or social media and it's causing anxiety,
Which it often does.
right, the advice is simple. Step away for a while, create gentle pauses, points of stillness in your routine.
Man, bury in these pauses.
Turn off the external stimuli. Place your attention on the peace that exists within your own heart.
The heart center.
This is key because everyone, they say, has this divine spark within, a pure presence of love and consciousness right there in your heart center.
Right.
Tuning into that inner presence, even just for a few minutes, clears away the mental clutter and anxiety the external world might have stirred up.
And these little moments add up.
They absolutely accumulate. They strengthen your ability to consciously choose your thoughts and feelings over time.
Along with this, we're encouraged to cultivate genuine optimism about our lives, about the future of humanity.
Yes, and being optimistic isn't about, sticking your head in the sand and ignoring problems.
It's not denial.
No,
Yeah.
It's about keeping your channel open to receive solutions and higher guidance. When you remain hopeful, your energetic field is expansive, receptive, like an antenna tuned into elevated creative ideas.
Ideas from where?
From your higher self, from benevolent beings, from the universe itself. Hope and positive expectation are described as powerful tools.
Tools for what?
They elevate your vibration. They allow you to access the frequency where the answers actually exist.
Okay.
If you can maintain this positive perspective, you'll likely find that inspired solutions and helpful synchronicities just start appearing more often.
Okay, but this raises a big question, one many of us face. What about all those fear-based predictions we hear constantly? Financial collapse, war, environmental stuff.
The sources address this directly. No matter how authoritative these predictions of catastrophe might seem, they are not written in stone.
Okay, that's important.
You are not obliged to live out any timeline that doesn't feel right for you. We are sovereign beings. We can change our path through our own energy and choices.
So what do they suggest we do when we encounter one of those dire predictions? Or just, an inevitable catastrophe narrative?
The suggestion is to pause. Check in with your inner guidance. Ask yourself honestly, how does this make me feel? In my body, in my heart.
And if it feels bad, small, fearful, hopeless,
then recognize that this is not a timeline you need to energize with your focus or belief.
Okay, so instead of just accepting that negative vision as destiny, you can choose to transform it within your own field.
Yes. For example, if you encounter conversations about scarcity or conflict, you can consciously counteract that. Visualize abundance, cooperation, peace, mutual understanding instead.
And this isn't just wishful thinking.
No, it's framed as using your creative energy to vote for the reality you desire to experience.
Vote for a reality. I like that.
Every time you do this, you are essentially broadcasting a new possibility into the collective field. Energy is contagious, right? When one of you holds a vibration of love, hope, certainty that things can improve, it invisibly influences everyone you come into contact with energetically.
Wow.
And fascinatingly, they mention entire alliances of benevolent ETs and higher dimensional collectives like the Galactic Federation, councils of ascended masters, working alongside us. They observe the energetic votes humanity is casting.
That's incredible. So when they see that true heart-centered intention and high vibration, do they jump in and help? Amplify those positive timelines?
That's exactly what's suggested. They joyfully add their energy. They actively amplify it.
So when you choose a path of love, you have helpers in higher realms amplifying that choice in your reality.
That's the picture painted here. So never underestimate the power of that inner pivot. From fear to love.
Right.
Each time you consciously shift from a limiting thought to an empowering one, you send a signal, a ray of light that the cosmos responds to.
And all these lessons, these energies, they're preparing us for a new way of living, creating reality with pure thought and intention.
That seems to be the direction. As more high-frequency light, often called photon energy, floods the planet, the delay.
The delay between thought and manifestation.
Exactly. That delay is dramatically decreasing.
So in a fifth dimensional existence, which these sources say we're transitioning to, reality becomes much more fluid, responds rapidly to consciousness.
Yes, the delay shrinks significantly, which means we're essentially being trained right now to be incredibly conscious of what we focus on.
Because we're learning to be deliberate creators.
Precisely. If you try to create from a place of despair or scarcity, the results will likely have an unstable foundation. But when you create from inner completeness, from joy,
you align with Source.
You align with Source, and your creations flourish beautifully.
So what's the advice? Spend time each day visualizing the world we want.
Yes, visualizing it not as some distant future, but as something real that's forming now.
Like imagining ecosystems healing, communities cooperating.
Outdated, harmful systems being replaced by life-affirming innovations.
Yes.
And most importantly, feel it.
Feel it in your heart.
Feel in your heart that these scenarios are possible, even already underway beneath the surface of what you currently see.
And by holding these visions and feelings, we're essentially writing a new timeline for Earth.
That's the idea. And at the same time, practice compassion and patience for those still caught in fear or old habits.
Because not everyone will embrace these changes quickly.
And that's okay. You don't need to argue or convince anyone. Your best approach is just to embody the peace and confidence of someone who knows deep down that everything's moving in the right direction.
And when people see you thriving, calm, hopeful, they naturally get curious.
Exactly. So with each new day, you have this opportunity to write a new script for humanity. Trust the inspirations that arise, act on your inner guidance.
And celebrate the small wins.
Yes. Celebrate even the smallest evidence of positive change or improvement in your life or in the world. Recognize it as a sign that change is happening and that you're contributing.
Okay, so moving beyond our individual shifts, the Council also talks about how these July energies reshape our external world, starting with how we see universal support.
Yes, they really highlight our understanding of Source or the universe as this ever-present provider that never withholds its love and blessings.
But isn't that kind of counter to how many of us were raised? This subconscious programming that says you have to deserve goodness.
Exactly. There's this old idea, if you pray enough, follow the rules, prove your worth, then you'll be rewarded.
Right.
But in this new energy flooding our world, these old rules just don't apply anymore. The energy of Source the Divine, the Creator, whatever name you use it, never withholds love, healing, abundance, clarity.
It's always flowing.
Always flowing to you and through you in an endless stream.
So if you're not experiencing that flow, it's not Source holding back.
No. It's often because you, maybe at some level, aren't fully allowing it in. Maybe there's a part of you still thinking it needs to bargain or prove its worth.
Which creates a blockage.
Right. And this month, July, we're invited to actively practice shifting that old mindset.
How?
Well, instead of supplicating or negotiating, try just sitting in silence and affirming that everything you need is here now.
Affirmations like,
Feel things like, my needs are met in this moment. Source's love and support are with me now. I am open to all the universe's gifts.
and when you hold that kind of thought and feeling, pay attention to your body.
Yes. Initially, you might notice some resistance. Years of conditioning making you doubt. That's perfectly normal.
Okay.
But if you keep breathing gently, relaxing into the idea that you are unconditionally loved and provided for, you'll feel a softening. Your nervous system starts to calm down, accept this truth.
And each time you do this, you're reprogramming.
Literally reprogramming your brain and body to live in a state of trust and receptivity. And the energies of July are said to be especially supportive of this reconditioning.
Okay.
This month, July in particular, is supposed to intensely illuminate any internal conflicts, like between what you say you believe and what you really feel deep down.
Oh, interesting. Like if you pray for help but inwardly doubt, it'll come.
Exactly. You'll feel that dissonance more strongly now, which gives you a powerful opportunity to resolve it.
And the remedy?
Is to cultivate what's called surrendered certainty.
Surrendered certainty.
Knowing that nothing you do or don't do could possibly increase or decrease Source's infinite love for you.
You're completely loved. Blessings are always around you.
When you fully embrace this knowledge, you stop asking, when will I receive what I need? Because you already feel complete and supported.
And ironically, that's when it flows.
That's the moment everything you've asked for can flow directly to you. By living in this space of competent permission, you'll notice abundance, health, guidance, love just appearing.
With almost miraculous timing.
Yeah, but it will feel natural and normal because you finally aligned with the true, unconditional, ever-flowing nature of Source.
Okay, this leads perfectly into the topic of abundance itself. July's energies are also addressing our collective beliefs about that. Provision, prosperity.
Yes. Humanity has long been taught that abundance is something external, something you chase or deserve, or maybe get by luck if fate smiles on you.
Right. The old paradigm. Wealth and resources seem limited, often hoarded.
Exactly. These old ideas are apparently crumbling in the new light.
So what's the truth we're encouraged to understand now?
That true abundance is an energy that springs from within you and flows outward.
From within.
We all have a direct line to Source's infinite abundance. Think of it like a spring of clear water inside your heart, always ready to flow.
Okay.
When you feel fear of not having enough, you close yourself off. It's like putting a lid on that spring. The flow diminishes, gets stagnant.
But when you open yourself up, give, share, appreciate what you have.
You remove the lid, the water flows freely again, quenching your thirst, nurturing those around you.
So practically speaking, generosity and trust are keys to unlocking more abundance right now.
That's what's suggested. Being generous doesn't just mean giving away all your money, of course.
Right.
It can be simple things. Sharing your time, your talents, expressing gratitude, kindness freely.
The idea is to check in with yourself. Find where you might be holding back because of fear.
Exactly. Ask yourself, is there a creative talent or gift you've withheld? Love or appreciation you haven't expressed? Help you could offer but hesitated.
Okay.
July's energies will gently nudge you in these areas where your generosity or openness could expand.
A nudge from the universe.
You might feel a subtle push each time you contract or withhold something that could be given or expressed. Take these as cues. Try a different approach.
Loosen the grip. Let the energy flow.
Give a little more than you normally would, maybe. Do it with a full heart.
Yeah.
And then observe what happens. Observe how the universe responds.
And what will we find?
You'll often find that as soon as you offer help, give an item, share your knowledge, send a heartfelt prayer for someone else, almost immediately, something comes back into your life in return.
Like an unexpected opportunity, a gift, a solution.
Could be anything. This is the new flow of higher dimensional energy. What you circulate with love comes back multiplied.
It's not transactional, though.
No, it's about alignment. When you act from a mindset of abundance and kindness, you signal to your own subconscious, to source, that you trust the infinite supply.
And that trust keeps the channel open for more to flow to you.
Exactly. This is seen as the future of abundance on our planet, a continuous circulation of energy. Everyone gives, everyone receives freely in a balanced flow.
And the concept of scarcity just gradually disappears.
That's the vision.
Okay. Another area of focus. Our dream life.
Yeah.
Astral experiences.
Yes. Apparently, a lot is happening when you sleep. Many people have been waking up feeling their dreams were unusually vivid, or feeling tired,
Like they've been working all night.
or traveling. And in a way, they have been. While your body rests, your consciousness frequently travels to higher realms for learning.
That's fascinating. So we're not just dreaming in the old sense, but actually engaging in higher learning or activity.
Precisely. You might be reuniting with soul groups, practicing building communities based on love and cooperation,
Wow.
learning to heal with sound and light, receiving guidance, energetic updates from higher beings.
So the advice is, keep a journal by the bed. Note down fragments.
Yes, even a mood or a single image from a dream can be a powerful clue about what your soul was up to. Writing about it, reflecting on it, it strengthens the bridge between your subconscious and conscious mind.
And if you wake up with an ache,
Right?
we're feeling foggy, what does that mean?
It's often a sign you are very active in your etheric body.
Okay.
So instead of reaching straight for the caffeine, maybe try a gentler approach. Stretch, drink water to help the energy integrate.
Walk in the sunlight to ground yourself.
Perfect. These practices help bring what you learned overnight into your daily life. Because the goal of all this dream activity isn't just to give you an escape from reality.
No, it's the opposite.
It's the opposite. It's to train and equip you to bring more of your creative, unlimited potential into your waking, physical life.
So practicing creation or problem solving in dreams builds skills for waking life.
Exactly. You're building confidence and skill that will translate into more powerful manifestation abilities while awake.
And the line between the dream world and waking world keeps thinning.
As we ascend, yes. Eventually, creating in your everyday life will become almost as malleable as shaping a dream.
And we'll use these skills wisely, lovingly, for the benefit of all.
That's the hope, the potential.
Okay, one final message for July. This concerns relationships and communities.
Yes. These ascension energies are recalibrating not just your inner world, but also how you connect with others. As your frequency rises.
You naturally gravitate towards people who uplift you, resonate with your soul's truth.
Exactly. And on the other hand, you might find some relationships seem to be drifting away, becoming more distant.
And this is normal, not about judgment.
It's presented as a normal part of the process. It's simply a matter of vibration. When the vibration between you isn't compatible anymore, it can feel heavy or draining to maintain certain connections or old ways of relating.
So the advice is compassion, honesty.
Approach it with compassion and honesty. If you feel you need to step away from someone or spend less time in an environment that drains you, do it with as much love and understanding as you can.
Release the guilt, the judgment towards them and yourself.
Yes, everyone's on their own path. Sometimes paths diverge for a while. Trust that in the bigger picture, you'll meet again in love when the time is right.
And what about new connections? How do we recognize those? Engage with them?
That's a key part of it, too. Be open to new connections entering your life now.
How you recognize them?
You'll know them by how they light you up. Could be new friends, colleagues, maybe a romantic partner. Or even people you knew casually who suddenly become closer allies on your journey.
So say yes to opportunities to gather with like-minded souls, even online or small groups.
Definitely. These group energies are described as incredibly powerful right now. When you unite your energy with others in a high-frequency intention.
Like meditating, praying, singing, creating.
Sharing, or just enjoying each other's company, the effect is exponentially amplified. You create this network of light between you.
And in those moments, you're not just benefiting each other.
You're also anchoring higher light onto Earth. Think of each gathering of awakened souls as a node of positive energy on the planet.
Helping distribute the incoming energies smoothly.
In a smooth and balanced way through the human collective. So both the letting go of old ties and the forming of new, heart-aligned bonds are important now.
It makes sense. Ultimately, ascension is a team effort.
Humanity has to awaken as a unified collective. And the soul group connections you nurture now, they're the seeds of a new society.
Built on love and mutual respect.
Value the people who uplift you. Know that by coming together, you all elevate more than any one person could alone. Each unique soul adds something beautiful to this collective ascension.
Wow. We've really taken a deep dive into these powerful energies of July and beyond. Understanding that ascension seems, well, inevitable.
An inevitable journey, yeah. And your experience of it is profoundly shaped by your own vibrational choices.
So let's quickly recap the core ideas we explored. There's the critical need to slow down, right, to integrate new energies.
And the incredible flexibility of your timelines guided by intuition.
And the accelerating power of your thoughts in creating your reality. That's huge.
Huge. We also touched on shifting your understanding of source, seeing it as a never-ending provider.
And abundance is an inner wellspring, not something external.
Plus the vital role of your dream life and the evolving nature of relationships as you align with higher frequencies.
Okay, so here's a final thought to leave everyone with. If every choice you make, every thought you entertain, every feeling you cultivate, if it's essentially a vote for a specific timeline.
A vote.
How does understanding this empower you to deliberately choose the reality you wish to experience, not just for yourself, but for the entire planet? What small vote will you cast today?